Tech Yeah Podcast.
It's been a couple weeks.
It has been, yeah. Well, it's been on the calendar. It has been in like space time. The last 2 weeks have been condensed into about 4 minutes.
I feel like I feel like it's been instant, yet it feels like we've never recorded a podcast before.
I know. It feels like we haven't left this room,
Yeah.
and also this is the first time we've been in this room.
Yeah, it's a paradox. I
Very
feel like
weird.
that we're inside of right now.
Yeah, that's what Black Friday will do to you, though.
Yeah, so I don't know if you don't know out there, we work in e-commerce. I'll put it that way. And so we've definitely been impacted by Black Friday and Cyber Monday schedules and Green
Emotionally,
Monday.
more than anything.
Yeah, emotionally and time-wise, right? Available time has definitely been
At a premium.
limited. Yeah, at quite a premium. So I'd like to say we're sorry we didn't get to talk to you guys.
I'm sure they probably managed.
I don't know. I think a lot of people,
Yeah.
a lot of people really look forward to this as the highlight of their week.
Did you notice a disturbance in the force?
I noticed. I don't have the Force. I'm not a Force user.
Not too many midichlorians.
No, my
That's too
midichlorians are lacking.
Yeah, it's too bad.
I actually thought I'd go to the doctor and see if
There's
I could
pills
get a
for that.
supplement. You
Yeah,
know?
there's pills for that.
Yeah, I heard there's a cream that you can rub on. That's actually really good.
Topical way is okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not midichlorian. It's actually testosterone, but
Right.
I'm hoping it'll do like the same thing.
It'll do the same thing.
It'll definitely put a disturbance in my Force.
Yeah,
that's for
something
sure.
will be disturbed.
So how have your 2 weeks been, Bill?
I've been pretty good. Very busy. I flew more than I ever have in that span of time. I was up in the air 3 times within a week, which was a lot. The most I've ever done is, once every other week. So 3 times in 1 week was pretty crazy, and kind of a more tech reason for that. If you guys have listened to past episodes, you know that I stream flight simulators as a way to practice for the real world training.
Do you?
I do. And someone that came into my stream one day asked where I was located, what airport I was based out of. I told him John Wayne. He said me too. And, we're chatting during the stream, and he's like, hey, man, if you ever want to, come and I'll take you up in the Bonanza, which is a type of plane, one of my favorite planes ever. So he joined the Discord. We coordinated it, and we went on a nice little lunch date to Catalina. So it was crazy. So I streamed.
You went on a Catalina lunch date with a gentleman?
I did, yeah.
Was he French?
No, he was not French.
Oh, because there's a guy I met.
Pretty sure it's a different guy. I don't know if this one plays piano. So went from streaming to Discord to Real Airplane, filmed some GoPro footage, uploaded it, watched it during a stream, and then we'll upload it to YouTube.
At what point did you guys have sex? Right? Like you guys had to smash.
Little ground school.
Yeah,
So it was a cool real world experience that was born from, goofy video game streaming, Twitch, and got some content out of it.
I don't like your condescending tone towards video game streaming.
It's not. I have no
You
condescension.
called it goofy.
No condescension.
You made it seem small
intended,
and I don't appreciate that.
But compared to flying a 3,000-pound
goofy
little
airplane
into a airport 1,500 feet off the ground is unbelievable.
A goofy little airplane.
This is a goofy little airplane that does 170 knots.
To a goofy little airport.
was-
that's what I thought.
It was so freaking epic. So that's what I did, and then Thanksgiving and family and whatever. Blah. So how was yeah, family.
My past couple weeks are good. I've also been extremely busy. It's hard. Like I would say I am the kind of the hardware nerd behind our podcast. I've been digging around and buying mics and trying this and seeing how I can get the audio better and how I can mix it better. And so I ended up buying a mixer over this past week, and it's really a pit of despair when you get into audio and trying to make it sound right. because it always seems to sound worse than before you started. Like everything you buy, it's like, did this make it worse? Like I feel like I'm making it worse because you just keep messing with it.
Why could nobody hear me? Why am I too loud?
Yeah, like you just keep messing with it and it never really makes sense. So a lot of that, a lot of testing, a lot of trying to get it in line. And other than that, I'm trying to think if like I've had any like exciting, fun stories. Like I haven't been flying through the sky. Yeah, I've been actually pretty lame. Like,
Just like, I mean, that kind of like when you're so busy and like
Yeah, it's
mentally drained at work, you kind of just want to just blank out.
and
you
even
know?
the weekends, it's been a lot of like Friendsgivings and events for like, I mean, my family's in San Diego, so I haven't seen my family for Thanksgiving, but it's a lot of friend events, so yeah, I've seen buddies and stuff, but it hasn't really, it hasn't kind of been those like impact moments. Nothing where it's like, and then I did this. I went out Black Friday, not shopping or like Thanksgiving night. I did end up going to a couple stores, just to see the carnage. And I will tell you guys, I've been to GameStop twice in the past 2 months, and both times I bought nothing because the staff there is a joke.
Ugh.
A joke. I mean,
It's going to kill them off.
It's going to kill them. I have my complaints about other stores recently, but GameStop has been the biggest mess of a store that I've been to. Like, I just can't believe that they're so bad at churning through customers.
That'll be the nail in the coffin for them, more so than just digital transactions or whatever. Because there's still something cool about going in and getting a disc, and I mean, I'd probably go get a hard copy of Red Dead.
But you can't get in and out of that place.
Yeah, and if you're just kind of like, those people are assholes, I'm gonna go get a Target.
I went when Red Dead released. I went to go buy a hard copy of Red Dead, like you're just saying. I walked into the store. There's one lady working there. There's two customers. They're both in line. The first dude comes up and he's got like some printouts, and they are just like talking about stuff. You know what I mean? They're just like, oh, what about this? And what about, I got this. And I was like, okay, like I'm going to get out of line and just look around for a while and see when this burns out. Someone else got in line in the meantime. And I'm like, it doesn't matter because it's just this guy taking all the time. I can just get in behind that guy. I'm not like uptight or so like tight with my time. So eventually I just jump back in line. It's still the first guy talking.
Jeez.
It's been probably 15 minutes.
Did you Fallout 76 return guy the place?
Yeah. So then the next person comes up and it's another like 10 minutes of them like going back and forth and like literally like the second person, the moment where she's trying to like upsell them, I'm just like, you need to get this customer the fuck out of this store. Like, as someone who has like worked in a store before, it's like, how could you ever make money when the register is so slow to open?
What I mean? And like all of her day, I'm sure, was dead.
Yeah, it
was dead her entire shift, and then the one time she's got 4 people standing in line to buy something.
Yeah,
she's chatty Cathy.
Yeah, if it takes you, let's just call it $1 for every minute, like it's
God, yeah.
It's like, how could you ever make profit? Like every single customer is taking you 10 minutes. So that was that story. So Thursday, Thanksgiving, I go to GameStop again because they're having a sale, right? And it's $20 for all these PS4 games. And there's one PS4 game I want. All right, so I walk in, it's 9:00, they're closing at like 10, and I'm the only person in line. There's one person in front of me buying a PS4. There are literally 5 employees trying to figure out this transaction. Okay. I'm waiting in line. So 5 minutes in, like a couple people form up in line behind me, and the guy behind me eventually asks one of the staff that's walking by, like, hey, I'm looking for this game. I was looking for the exact same game. So I tell her, I'm looking for that game too. Right.
Grab 2 of them.
Right. And so while she's looking, I get called like to the counter, right? So I go to the counter and the guy's like, okay, like we don't have any new copies of that game, but what we do have is like pre-order copy. So it's paper sleeved and the case is with it. It's like, they put the cases on the wall and they take them. So I'm like, fine, I'll take it. It's $20. Like, I don't care. Right. So the guy behind me that also asked for the game is like, okay, like I want one too. And the guy's like, well, this is the last one.
Mm.
And ultimately, I'm like, I was in the line in front of you, right? And the guy behind me is like, oh, no, that's not a problem. I put one on hold online like a couple hours ago. So they're like, okay. So they look in the drawer, and I see them pull out his paperwork with no game, right? And they're like, and so they're like, oh, yeah, we took your hold, but we didn't actually pull the game. And I'm just like, all the while, the guy is proceeding in my transaction, right? And I tell the guy, I say, you can't sell me this. Like, I understand that I am in front of him in line, but that guy put it on hold. Like, I don't know why I'm the one that's doing this right now, but like, you pieces of shit need to give him the game, right? Like, it makes sense. Like, I am not on my conscience, like, gonna screw this guy to save like $6 on a PlayStation. You know what I mean? Like,
it's so maddening. This is why it's so frustrating. I'm not even gonna go there. Never mind. That sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. And one, if they would have just got me through the line, I never would have met the guy behind me. I never would have had this like moral dilemma about whether I can take like there's so much weight on this like transaction now that I don't need to deal with. None of this is on me. You know what I mean? Like, it's
good God.
Yeah, it just drove me nuts. So I hate GameStop. I had a similar experience with Best Buy this week, but we won't even get into that. But it just goes to show why e-commerce and one company specifically is just taking over, right? Because it's just every time I go into
such
stores,
a headache. Yeah,
the
it's
experience
such
sucks.
a headache. And you know what? It shouldn't be this way, but I notice when, like, I'm shocked when someone gives me good service at a retail store.
Yeah, it's amazing when at a time when service should be the defining factor.
Yeah.
The only time I get good service is if I go to an extremely high-end store.
Right. Went to, the store Anthropology?
Yeah, I know.
It's like ridiculously expensive. Like this wine glass is $60.
Yeah, for one.
Yeah, for one. Get fucked, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, this is insane. But I noticed this girl that was helping this woman pick out some stuff, and she started to walk away, and then she stops, turns around, and says, "Oh, ma'am, like, are you going to continue shopping?" She's like, "Yeah, I was." She's like, "Well, let me take the stuff up front for you, so you don't have to walk around with it." And it was like, it's the exact opposite of your experience, where this woman, this girl, like, walked away, made like, didn't need to do that, but made the conscious decision, be like, it would be a nice thing to do, be a good experience to turn back around and try to and do something nice to help a customer have a pleasant experience.
Yeah, like, I don't want to be the foo-foo guy, but like, because like, I'm single in my 30s, like, I spend money like crazy, so I go into some high-end stores, right? Like I'll definitely go into like Bloomingdale's or something to look at shoes, or or Nordstrom, some designer shit. And like, but even like Macy's, like, they have a good level of service at that store, right? Like, I've definitely had people even at Macy's be like, hey, if you want to buy these now, that's fine, but we normally, like, this brand tends to go on sale at the end of the month, so just go online and check next week, and if they're cheaper, we'd love to honor the price for you. You know what I mean? Like, or you can wait, but if you want to buy them now, it's fine. You buy them and wear them. Just bring the receipt back next week, and we can refund you.
Yeah.
It's like that stuff goes such a long way, and it sets brick and mortar stores apart from e-commerce retailers, and yet it seems so rare that we ever see like good customer service. It's personal. It starts with personal accountability. Yeah.
But then it also is a training thing.
Yeah.
And you can tell where the company really focuses the training on. It's amazing. Like, we went into Home Depot to buy some wood for making a Christmas decoration. It's like, I needed this wood to be cut.
Yeah.
And I go up to this guy at the front of the counter, and I was like, "Hey, is someone available to cut some wood?" He's like, "Oh yeah, someone's back there." So I go, okay. So I go all the way back, and Home Depot's huge. I go to the back corner, standing there. I run into this lady, and I'm like, "Hey, I need some wood to get cut. Could you help me?" The guy should be around here. Let me go check. I see her walk all the way back up to the store and ask the guy that I already asked, and then come all the way. I'm just like, oh my God, I don't like just. You make it so hard to spend your money.
That's
you
what
know?
happened at Best Buy. The same game I tried to buy at GameStop, I found at Best Buy on sale for Cyber Monday for the same price. I put it. So this time I order one online to pick up at the store. I go to the store. So I ordered it in like the afternoon. I go to the store before they close at like 7:30. They haven't pulled it yet. I asked the lady, I get in line, and I'm like, hey, I ordered this like a long time ago. And they're like, hey, we're just taking them in order. If you want, you can go find it on the floor.
Oh, God.
And I was just like, are you?
Yeah, you're like, what?
Is this real? Like, it's fine to say, like, sir, I'm really sorry. We're really busy and I haven't had a chance to pull it.
Yeah, I'm sorry to bother you.
Yeah, let me find someone and we'll grab it for you, right? Or just hold on for a few minutes, please. Right? The store is not like blowing up.
No, of course it's not. Yeah.
It's not like there's
Cyber
lines
Monday.
around Best Buy on Cyber Monday. So it's just like how fucking dare you tell me to
Seriously.
go find it,
And
right?
then you just know these companies are like getting so bent out of shape that the South American River is, taking all their sales and stocks are down and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, because you guys are dumbasses.
Yeah, it's not the internet's fault, right? It's
Yeah.
your fault for being a shitty company.
Yeah.
With shitty service.
People still want to go to physical stores.
Yeah, it feels good.
It does. It feels good to walk out, have a receipt in your hand, have the product in your bag, walk out the store. It's done. I get the convenience of click and send, and it's going to be there in a couple days and whatever. But some stuff, it's just nice if you're out and about. Like, hey, let's go. I'm going to go stop by wherever and pick up a thing.
Yeah, like listen, it's like I don't buy a lot of like super high end stuff. All right, but I was with a friend, and she does buy a lot of high end like purses and stuff. We were on vacation, and we went to the Gucci outlet. All right, and I was like, this is dumb. I don't know why people shop at the store. Everything's $1,000, right? But I really needed a wallet at the time. And they had like the wallet I was looking for, like a very flat, two-fold, no fucking picture inserts and ID slots, right?
Yeah.
Just a simple bifold wallet. And it was, I don't remember how much it cost, but it was
A couple $100 probably, right?
yeah, between $200 and $300,
Yeah.
right? And so she's like, just buy it. Like, it's the wallet you want. You've already spent $100 buying Fossil wallets and shit that you hate.
Yeah.
Like, so just buy this one that you want, right? And I did. And you know what? Buying probably one of the cheapest items in the store, the level of service and the treatment that they give you, I was like, yeah, I could do this. Like, for sure. Like,
It's the experience.
it's such an experience, right? And then you think about like, when every other wallet I bought before this, trying to find the one I wanted, it was like, oh, you want that one, whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like, waste $60 here, waste $60 here, go to this place, and they're just like, they take them all out, they show you them all, they tell you what they're made of, they're just like, they're gonna get a fresh one out of the back for you. They're not gonna make you take the sample one, it's like, it sucks. I don't know why how's my week going turned into a rant about core customer service.
Well, we were coming off of like the most, consumer centric week of the entire year. It's so ridiculous.
We are so good at getting lost in
I know,
tangents.
I
All right,
know.
I got some stuff for us to talk about.
Mailbag, tech, mailbag.
Mailbag.
Mailbag, tech,
Tech, yeah. Okay. I got some mailbag mail. Okay.
Sweet.
It's 3 emails. It's from 2 people.
Okay.
So we'll start with one because it's been a couple weeks, so we got a little in between time.
Yeah, a little catching up to do.
So the first email goes from Ryan.
Hello, Ryan. Thank you for your correspondence.
Ryan L. We'll call him. I'm not gonna say
out
their
him.
full name. I don't want people Facebook searching this guy. All right. He said, a couple episodes ago, you mentioned that someone suggested 30-minute episodes. They're wrong. My favorite episodes, my favorite podcasts are often 90-plus minutes long. Now my question for Bill. What's the deal with airplane food? Love you guys.
Come on.
You're fun. Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
So, Bill, what's the deal with airplane food?
What's the deal with the razor blade slots in the bathroom? Are people really shaving in there?
What's the deal with airplane food?
I don't know. It's margins.
I feel like it's pretty much gone anyway. I feel like I guess I don't do a lot of coast to coast flying.
Yeah, you can get if you're going to New York, you'll get a meal if it's on the right time. Alaska has little meal boxes to purchase, and it's like $6
Yeah.
for 12. Like for an Alaska flight, if I'm going up to Seattle, it's a 2.5 hour flight. I can get a glass of wine and a box of cheese and salami and whatever, and it like it's $12.
That's not too bad.
Like it's really not bad. Like I don't really care. It's
I like Alaska. I like Virgin a lot too, which is Alaska now.
Alaska now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I feel like they were always very big on the accoutrements, like even if it
Virgin.
Was, Virgin.
Yeah.
Even if if you had to buy them,
Right.
it was nice to be able to on the
It was a
touch
nice
screen be like,
atmosphere.
hey, bring me a beer.
Yeah, it was a really nice atmosphere. I like their interior lighting package, which they're keeping those, I think, on a lot of the Alaska flights, are just changing the colors, I
Keeping
think.
the safety video.
No, they'll redo that.
That was a
probably.
hit, man.
That was pretty good.
Fly away with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a hit. It made you feel good about getting on the plane.
It felt a little bit like you were back in the 50s, but in the future.
Yeah. Kind of like a Fallout sort of thing.
A little bit, yeah.
Right?
It's like a futuristic throwback.
Yeah, like
like the flight attendants were all kind of dressed a little bit not really nicer, I want to say, because Alaskas are fine too. But like they just had it was like a little bit different. It was a little more
like a Pan
occasion.
Am kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're on an airplane. This is an occasion. Like back to the days when guys would fly with their hats and jackets and smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, it almost felt like an opening for like a sports event or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's about to start.
Yeah, there's
you
like
know,
there's a 12-year-old standing on a box giving out newspapers.
Yeah, yeah, the little girl that did the dance thing.
Yeah.
I love that video. It was so good. I miss it. I miss it so much.
The golden age.
Oh, I got more emails. I don't know why I put my phone down. Hold on.
Mailbag round two.
Round
Tech,
two.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if I should read Hornets first because it's so long.
Oh boy.
Okay, we're gonna read Ryan's
Ryan's part
current email.
Okay.
And then we'll go to Hornets because Hornets is a mofo.
Like it.
Okay. This is actually pretty funny. I like this one.
Okay.
Payless filled a fake store.
Oh,
in
by the way,
California.
before you start that, techyeahpodcast@gmail.com if
Oh,
you'd like to
I'm
send us
sorry,
emails
yes.
as well.
TakeOutPockets@gmail.com.
Yeah,
Anything
no,
you want to
that's
say. Let's go. All right. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Or you could just
Or whatever.
Twitter
or
us.
don't.
Twitter us, Tech Yeah Podcast. Payless filled a fake store in California that they called Palessi. I don't like that name. With shoes and invited so-called influencers to a launch party. Among this group were people who totally took the bait and said they'd pay hundreds for the shoes. It fascinates me because it's amazing how easily people can be persuaded by a little glitz, when in fact, what really is happening behind the scenes is literal bullshit, according to Ryan.
Great.
Social engineering at its finest is what he says.
Yes.
There's an article attached. I kind of get what the story is, so I'm not going to read the article.
Okay.
But
So this is almost exactly the same thing what we were just talking about. And I was going to say, I was going to make a
you're going to say
comment.
Palessi?
I was going to make a comment about another experience, but I just didn't want to keep going down the tangent. But that's a very good story and segue into that. So you've been to Big Lots, right?
Oh, yeah. I've been to Big Lots.
I'd maybe been there once or twice, like a long time ago, and it didn't occur to me. So our neighbor, as we're doing our Christmas lights, said, hey, Big Lots has a bunch of cheap stuff as well if you don't want to keep going to Target or whatever. Like if you need some extension cords, go to Big Lots. I was like, damn, that's a really good idea. Never even occurred to me. Like I drive right by it and just, it's like it's not even there.
Yeah, check
right?
out that Big Lots, bro.
So like we go into Big Lots and it's Big Lots.
Mm-hmm.
It feels a little bit rough. Like it feels thrown together and just
The
kind of
opposite of glitz and glamour.
yeah, just kind of like blah. But I noticed this as I was walking through actually like the linen aisle of all places, and I was like, man, these are like nice sheets. Like it just like here's a nice blanket, a nice pillow. Like it's totally fine. This is all you really need if you're like, hey, we need some bedding. Like totally fine, get it, whatever.
Yeah, like you could put that bedding in a nice house.
Yeah, no
and
one
have
would
fresh bedding on everyone's beds.
Exactly.
And no one would be like,
no one
"Is
would
this
notice.
Big
Yeah,
Lots?"
did you get those at Big Lots, you cheap bitch?
Yeah.
So, and that's exactly what I thought. I was like, man, this is like this is fine. These decorations are fine. I was like, but we had just been to Fashion Island that weekend.
Yeah, I know about Fashion Island. I've been there too.
Yeah, and you're just like, well, it's the experience that you're paying for.
Yeah.
The Anthropologie wine glass is no better or worse than the $15 wine glass at Big Lots in what it does. I mean, you could say like, yeah, it's been, it's taken more hours to make because it's real glass and it has real gold and like whatever,
You can do the rim thing.
Yeah. It's real crystal and whatever.
Mhm.
But for its like functionality, it doesn't do anything any differently and is not perceived any differently from anyone that doesn't know where it's from. So the influencer part, I think, is a huge part of it because it's like awareness. But I think it's more of seeing a environment that is more pleasant than what the environment was before. It's like
I agree.
Payless shoes. Like you walk by that place in the mall, it's like, oh my god, like
Yeah,
it's rough.
let's pardon my French. That place is fucked.
It's garbage, and just like the brown colors in their logo, like it has that like desperation, that like tinge of desperation to it.
Yeah, it could really use a rebrand. It's a bad store.
But you go to like Aldo, which is like a slightly more stylized
Yeah, it's not fancy,
shoe store.
yeah.
But equally as cheap stuff. But it's just a much nicer place to go into. It doesn't look like,
Yeah, it has a feel like you could wear these shoes. And
right.
like,
Or even just be in the store. You can even like go into the store and look. Like this is, like when you're a kid and like really into brands and how you look in middle school, and like I remember my mom like dragging me into JCPenney's. I'm just like, oh my god, I don't want to go in JCPenney's. I want to go to Abercrombie, or I want to go into Macy's.
You
and
would go to Abercrombie.
Polo.
You definitely were an Abercrombie kid.
I had like two shirts. So they're like Payless shoes. Like when you go buy it, it feels like mom's dragging you in because you need church shoes, and like I'm not gonna spend money on the nice fancy shoes. Like you just need like it feels gross.
It does feel gross, and they all like. I remember the thing with Payless shoes is they all were Velcro.
yeah. It's
like when I was a kid, it was all Velcro, and
Yeah.
it's like for kids' shoes, like lace shoes were like you'd have to go to like Foot Locker, right? But like Payless had all the Velcro shoes.
Yeah. So I think that it's as much that as it is the influencer thing. I mean, you take Payless shoes, you put a bunch of white couches in there, and some fancy boxes. And
I think in general, it's just the way you dress things up is the perception is so much of their value.
Yeah.
Like I said, and things are only worth what people are willing to pay for them.
Right.
Right. And I think how you arrive at that is really up to you. Right.
Yeah.
Is it if it's the way it's hosted, if it's the packaging, if it's the actual product, the raw material cost, I think all of those things kind of contribute.
Yeah.
And some contribute more or less than others depending on the situation.
And to bring it back to tech, technology will help you with the market research needed to make those decisions.
And this is all tech, right? I mean,
we did get that from an email, so technically.
I don't think we need to like try and bring it back. I don't think we gotta be like, and this relates to technology because
it's like, well, listen, you're listening to this probably on a phone, and we're surrounded by computer stuff.
I think the real relation this has is we are kind of technology guys.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of the ramblings of us as like man children talking about technology.
Fair enough.
I don't think we need to.
Anything is fair game just because we are technology people.
Yeah.
The big T.
Yeah, the big T.
That's what everyone's talking about,
That's what
Tony.
Everyone's talking about. Okay. Hornet went for it.
Okay, go for it.
This is his email.
Jesus, Hornet. Hornet, brevity is the soul of wit.
What was
one of my favorite sayings.
Someone was talking about Bill O'Reilly used to always say when he'd read emails, like, keep them quippy.
Pithy.
Keep them pithy. Yeah. Keep them pithy. Right. And so Hornet, be a little pithy on these next ones.
Yeah.
Luckily we don't have a lot of emails, so I got time to read this long ass thing.
If you care to opine.
Yeah. But if we just be a little pithy. Let's be
your own copy editor.
Let's start shooting a little tighter on these, because we'll do plenty of fluffing on our own.
We'll fluff it up.
You don't need to fluff it for us. I'm going to read down this because it's I don't really know where the highlights are.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we can just hit it, and then if it's running out of steam, we can always pull the ripcord.
From Hornet, Alec, as we know him personally.
Okay.
He's our good friend.
Yeah, good old Hornet.
First, I want to say he loved our last episode. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Hornet.
It's probably his favorite so far, especially where we talked about economics and what drives the market. I think he's talking about the Black Friday episode.
Wow.
Actually, I got a lot of compliments on that episode.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, people thought.
Cool.
I think people found interest in kind of our behind the scenes look at e-commerce and kind of how it works. Okay. The question: do you think modern cars, with all their technology built into them, auto braking, lane assist, touchscreen, self-driving, invites drivers to be distracted? Do you think all of the driving assistant features in automobiles actually make the roads safer? So what he wrote from here is kind of his response, but I want to kind of hear your take first.
Love it. Well, I came from the automotive industry, as you may or may not know.
Oh, I've heard.
Yeah,
I've heard a lot.
the racing side of things. So
if it's not
really
airplanes with you, it's
cars.
Cars. It's alphas.
Yeah. So here's my thought on the automation of cars. If you've ever seen, it was a very interesting study done. It was a while ago. It was probably in the 80s by now, if not early 90s. But they got a line of whatever it was, a dozen cars in a circle, and they just had them drive in a circle, and it was a way to mimic traffic flow. And they just had them, everyone drive at a constant speed, whatever it was. It was like 15 miles an hour, and the traffic just flows really nicely. Then they had, radio communication with one of the cars, and just said, all you do is just tap the brakes a little bit, but didn't let any of the other cars know when that was going to happen.
It all fell apart.
Yeah, so the guy taps his brakes, maybe slows down a little bit, and then just keeps going, goes back up to 15. If the other car didn't do anything, nothing would have happened.
Yeah.
It would have just kept going. But that guy panics, slows down. The guy behind him panics even more and slows down, to the point where the whole thing stops.
Yeah, I can see that quickly.
Very quickly. So the idea of having an automated system where cars are interconnected to one another in a lane or a handful of lanes, traveling a foot apart from one another. GM did a lot of studies on this. I think Cadillac has like a concept vehicle that was kind of designed to do this. So that enables traffic to flow indefinitely. There's no looking down at your phone or misjudging something and slowing down, or someone cutting in front of you and slowing down. It essentially, for those automated connected lanes, eliminates traffic. If a car is having a malfunction, it can identify that malfunction, move the car to the side, or merge off the freeway, or get out of the way, so it never impedes traffic. The benefits of that are obvious. You've got fuel economy, you've got pollution, you've got time saved, it just it's endless, the amount of benefit to our society that automation would deliver. The point of that is that you are taking out the human element of the driving. So what you're able to do is completely up to you. And there's actually been some proposed legislation regarding some self-driving taxis, like Uber and Lyft. And they have, I think even Google and Facebook have their own like self-driving taxi services that are being tested right now. But there is this huge concern for like health and safety that basically anybody taking these driverless taxis are just going to be banging in the back seat.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right, like no freaking kidding. People do that with just going.
Why
to,
not?
Just going to town.
You're on the way to a date. You're like, let's take care of the easy one before I get there.
Right. So get rid of the easy one. Good heavens!
What?
I love it.
Sorry,
I love it. So
this isn't. I mark this podcast as explicit every week.
Oh, you do?
Just so I can.
Okay, good. I didn't realize.
Just
that.
so I can get one of those off. If I
love it. Okay,
right?
Perfect. So
otherwise, why have I been making it explicit?
Why even do this?
Why have I been making it explicit
why are we even
this whole
doing
time
this?
if I can't make one jerking off joke? Okay? Every week, explicit.
Perfect.
Explicit. Okay?
Good. So, I mean, the concern of that, there isn't really any concern because that is the point of it. Now, what's the tricky
People
part?
humping cars right now.
People
while
humping
they're
cars now.
driving.
Absolutely.
I've seen it on the hub. Okay?
We've seen it live. We've seen it happen. It does happen.
It does.
It's very well lit and has multiple cameras involved.
Yeah, how do they get all those cameras?
I don't know. So, but we're in this, like, I call it, like, in kids, the dillweed stage where it's just, like, awkward. We're in, like,
an infant stage.
Yeah, we're in a very awkward stage of the cars technically being able to do this, but there's not enough of them to link together to, be able to block out an entire lane to do this.
I think they should just move the carpool lane and make that the self-driving lane.
And that has been proposed. It's just, which, I mean, the carpool lane, study after study, that does not do anything.
No, it's stupid.
The point of that is to make it more difficult.
Yeah, it's scientifically stupid. It really has turned into a, like, privilege lane for people that have stickers on their Priuses.
Yeah, well, and those Priuses are being subsidized by government money with electric. I mean, it's a whole.
Don't get in.
It's a whole thing.
Don't do it.
It's a whole.
Don't do
thing.
it. It's not politics. Yeah.
Oh, it's
just to review. Hornet had a couple hot takes in his email about what we were talking about, and really he was talking about how he's kind of an analog man, being old school into older cars. How he feels like touchscreens, it's hard to kind of feel his way around and navigate by kind of, knowledge and feeling of where the knob should be or, how to turn your defroster on. And I do tend to agree with that. I do think that touchscreens are especially in cars, a danger to everyone because they really require so much attention. He also mentions... what did he mention? No, I forgot what we were talking about. It's hard when you're doing it twice. I got to pull up his email real fast. I'm going to keep this in here because I deserve it. Oh, he's talking about how a lot of these, like, kind of not self-driving, right? I think we agree that these, like, ad hoc driving networks in traffic are a good thing. But, brake assist and blind spot assist and reverse cameras and all those things. How they kind of breed complacency in driving, and I do somewhat agree with, right? I think like reverse cameras and the beeper, like if you don't have that, and you get into someone's car that does or doesn't, and you end up just backing through a wall and kind of murdering children in the streets, right? Like, so what's your hot take?
Well, but we need to go through that in order to get to the connected networks. So it's just incremental. We need to prove out auto braking works. We need to prove out that lane assist works. We need to prove out that blind spot assist works. In the automotive industry, there's a good deal of regulation. There's the NTSB. There's the Euro NCAP stuff. So there's like some safety regulations that have to be considered as well. So some of this stuff isn't as like Wild West as other technology areas. Aviation's even worse. It's so regulated. I won't do it. But we need to go through that period of like testing out these systems as backups. And, there's a litigious factor too, where you've got to say like, look, this does not replace full, you pay attention at the wheel. I mean, there's all those warnings and stuff. People aren't going to do it. But, the touchscreen thing, that's a UI concern for me most of the time. I mean, I think people are so used to touchscreens now that it's not necessarily a bad idea. But when you start burying things within multiple layers, that's a bad idea. Like I want one knob for my heat switch, for
like
vents,
my car. If you buy the upgraded model, there's no volume knob. Yeah, that
sucks.
You know what I mean? Like it's all touch controlled,
right?
Which I don't like, but and I do agree. I agree with what you're saying. A lot of this is growing pains, and I think, like the blind spot sensor does kind of make me nervous, right? Because I think it does breed a behavior where you're not checking your mirrors before you change lanes.
Right? Yeah,
you're just kind of leaning on it.
Yeah,
but at the same
little lights on, or don't if it's off, move,
or if it doesn't come on when you start moving, right? Yeah. But in the same breath, I will say like auto braking, I don't think anybody is flying into traffic, being like, "It'll brake for me."
Yeah.
Like I think it's if it pops on for you and stops you from hitting the guy in front of you, great. But I don't think anyone's intention is to just let that do the stopping for them. So
no, I mean, and a lot of them will do that.
Yeah, I think it's a mixed bag. Is what I'm saying.
And I think we need to get to the point where it is doing that consistently.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's going to take the technology to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So to put a bow on it, it's bad in some cases, but it is a necessary evil in others in order to get to the place where we need to be.
And I think the bad is even better than it. The bad is better than not having it at all.
Yeah,
right.
People, I don't know. Do we know how many people are getting in accidents because they're playing with their touch screens to try to change radio stations?
27, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Who the frick knows? Is that even an issue? Yeah, is it conceptually a distracting thing to have a mini tablet in your car? Yes, it sounds like it's a bad idea. I don't know.
I think passengers are the most distracting thing.
Yeah, passengers are crazy distracting.
Your
own thoughts are distracting.
Because they're hot chick
some
passengers.
hot chicks in the back.
Oh,
I don't
man.
care. Yeah, I mean, you can have an abacus on your dash that you're
skirt.
trying to forget about it. You're running into every barrier, every car. You missed Tony's little dance because this is audio.
Yeah, this is audio, so you didn't get to see me do my little cleavage lean in, but
it's pretty hot.
Subscribe on Patreon or something, or maybe I'll send you a video. Okay, Hornet, thank you very much for the
Hornet.
email.
That was good.
And Ryan, thank you also for participating in the Tech Yeah mailbag. If you want to be part of the Tech Yeah mailbag, send us an email, techyeahpodcast@gmail.com. And maybe next time we won't make the mailbag our whole show. I don't know. But I think we got one more topic we want to cover real quick. I think it's happy news. And,
one little baby topic.
And let's let Bill take it away.
Little baby topic here. So this is from an article from The Verge, Julia Alexander, blah, blah, blah. Nintendo's new content guidelines make it easier for YouTube creators to get paid. So Nintendo is lifting some of its heavy restrictions over how
Bill
YouTube...
talking about video games?
And Nintendo, nonetheless.
It's not airplanes.
It's not airplanes. Nintendo is lifting some of its heavy restrictions over how YouTube creators can monetize gameplay and live stream content with a new set of guidelines for creators announced Wednesday evening, which was last week to you folks. We really don't need to go into the specifics of what the actual regulations are changing, but basically Nintendo had created a creators program that you had to apply to in order to stream their content, stream
At all.
Gameplay
Any Nintendo
at all.
content, yeah.
And that's on YouTube, that's on Twitch, that's on Mixer, wherever.
Basically, they owned any of the content. Any monetization that came from that content went to Nintendo. It was a real kibosh on anything Nintendo being used at all. It was very gross.
It was gross. And it was kind of like the Bethesda thing that we were talking about, where you're just like, dudes, come. Or not Bethesda, sorry.
Yeah.
Blizzard.
Bethesda sucks too right now.
Yeah, but Blizzard.
Everybody sucks right now.
Everyone really sucks right now. So it was like really anti-gamer, anti-consumer, but I get it. I mean, it's their it's their copyrighted content that
Go ahead.
So I understand them wanting to do what they can to protect that if they think it's being attacked.
Yeah, I get it, but it's a very old mentality, right? It's a very I don't understand this new technology and it scares me kind of reaction. It's because as we know, right, if a game is top on Twitch, it is going to be the most popular game. Like it's going to earn money, right? Like if we learned anything from Fortnite and PUBG, those games like live and died on Twitch, right? Like the popularity of those games through streaming and YouTube. Why are you flipping me off? Really really, he did a microphone hold with the middle finger up. But those games, online kind of content life cycles, really created what they became, right? And granted, like Nintendo's under new management now. They have a brand new like person in charge of Nintendo, and I think they're smart. I think especially leading into the launch of the new Smash Brothers. I think if they had continued with this policy, they would really limit the ability for Smash Brothers to take off as like a Twitch, a popular Twitch game, popular in people's YouTube content. I think they need to have content creators making Smash Brothers content for that game to be relevant beyond hardcore Nintendo fans. And I think this is a good step in that direction, right? Now, will they really like stick with it? I don't know, because I think they get scared very fast.
I think you're totally right on Smash Brothers, because that, when you talked about Fortnite and PUBG and their popularity, those are very much community-oriented games, and Nintendo doesn't really have a game like that. Mm-hmm. They don't have a massive multiplayer game. I mean, I have abused. I will, be honest. Like, I've abused the gameplay footage streaming content on YouTube. There have been games that I have watched.
Abuse, you mean like in a creepy way?
Like just beat it with my belt. Like I have not bought games because I watched the gameplay online. Like I watched a Let's Play of Zelda. Mm-hmm. I watched a guy play it beginning to end. Mm-hmm. I didn't buy it.
Yeah, but that's not Nintendo exclusive. You know what I mean? And to be honest, if you watched the
Zelda
game,
is.
No, I'm saying people just watching a game
all
the way through.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like if you saw something in Zelda beyond just the kind of the story, now this is neat, that like drew you in, it would encourage you to buy it in some ways, right?
Yeah, well, I think as a marketer, I think it is important to leverage that. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I just know from like anecdotally, I have watched gameplay footage and not made a purchase as a result of that. So there are people, I mean, even if it's just one, there is a person that does watch gameplay footage at the expense of buying the game.
As a marketer, I feel like if you aren't... As a marketer, if you fear showing your product to people, it's probably not a very good product, right? Like I think that
depends on the product, though.
It does, but
not movies or TV.
Well, to a point. I mean, because movie is like a one-time, like, but even television, if you give away the first episode of something that
there's
but
ways,
that's what I mean. Like,
to do it,
like even then, like. If you showed people the first 15 minutes of your film and it's good, people are going to watch that. People are going to go watch that movie.
Yeah, but I think Nintendo just didn't want the people doing hey, I'm playing Zelda all the way through. Hey, I'm playing Mario all the way through. Come watch me play this game. Because those are very, like, they're single-player, story-driven, not linear in a way, but it's a linear... It's being turned into a linear form of media. Mm-hmm. That's why we love video games so much, because they're not linear. And any motivation to buy one of those games after the fact would be, hey, I want to be able to play out my version of the story.
Yeah,
like GTA. Like I could watch GTA footage, but I still want to play it because I want to do it myself. I want to have my own experience. Yeah. I want to go left instead of right. I want to kill that guy versus not, or whatever the case. And Zelda has some of that stuff a little bit. But I mean, exposure is the main thing. That's it. I mean, they basically cut off exposure. You don't see Nintendo games on Twitch.
Yeah, I agree. And I think exposure is the most important thing right now, right?
Yeah, no one's seeing it.
You need to create exposure for your games, and Twitch is the place to gain that exposure. If you're not on Twitch, you basically don't exist.
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
And so...
yeah, if you're not in the top 10 of games being played on Twitch, your game doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, right? Especially like when Fallout 76 launched and it was like 5th was like the best it did on launch day. I was like, this game is doomed.
Yeah. Well, and that is a community-based game. That's a game that's been designed to, hey, play with everybody, play with friends.
I think it got up to like 2nd or 3rd, but like it was low for a while. And I was like, this was really rough. Like this was really bad. So I agree. And I just think it's smart. I think the thing that encourages me is I feel like Nintendo's always been so backwards, especially with online things. Their online like plan, like for the system, like the gaming system, still is terrible. It's
with the Weverse, whatever they call it.
Well, now it's the Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah.
It's not good. I bought a family plan. I got And the one good thing is you can randomly invite 8 people to be in your family,
Nice.
and then split a family plan for $35 a year.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So whatever, I bought it, but it's bad. Like what it offers is not very good, and but whatever. Like as much as I can criticize that, I can say that this is a very positive move, a forward-thinking move, and a relevant move to the current times. And for that I can applaud them.
They march to the beat of their own drum a little bit. They kind of curate their content and stories, and they're careful about third party. I mean, if they were just in it, it's kind of like Rockstar. Like if they were just in it to whore themselves out to make as much money as possible, we'd have Mario, mobile. They would have sold themselves out in ways that they could make money, but it would be at the detriment of the brand itself.
You know what's funny that I just heard? So Miyamoto controls all the Mario stuff, right? He's the Mario guy. And they were talking about Super Smash Brothers when it first came out. And they actually didn't make... It originally wasn't going to be Nintendo characters. So they made a version with just generic characters. And at the last minute before they showed it to Miyamoto to like pitch it for Nintendo, they subbed in all the Mario characters. And I guess Miyamoto just was like, "Oh, it's Mario. That's cool." And like that's why it sold.
Oh, that's awesome.
And in the same way, I don't know if you've heard of Mario's plus Rabbids.
Yeah.
It's like the strategy game for a Switch.
Yeah, a little Ubisoft.
Yeah. I guess in the same way, they just made a demo with Mario in it and showed it to Miyamoto, and he's like, "Oh, that's cool, it's Mario." And then they made that game too.
He said yes.
Yeah, so
do it before he figures it out.
I think the reason they haven't sold out Mario everywhere, because there's Mario cereal, there's Mario everything else. People just aren't making demos with Mario.
Make a mobile Mario demo.
He seems to say yes no matter what, as long as Mario's already in it. So
dude, it would be so perfect just to have like the OG original Mario games on your phone.
Yeah, or Mario 3. Mario 3 and Mario World especially.
Yeah.
Because those are like long, not long, but multiple levels,
right,
cool games with, interesting worlds and mechanics. Mario 1 is very much it's a great game, but it'd be hard to play on your phone because it's so precise. But that's the problem. Precise platformers are hard on your phone.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
But they are great games.
Yeah.
All right. I think we nailed it today, Bill.
I am Tech Yad out.
I am Tech Yad out too. We had a little
tech hiccup.
Little tech hiccup that cost us some time. I appreciate you guys sticking with us, even though we missed you last week. Bill, where can people find you?
Twitch.tv/BILL4LE, and the same for YouTube.
All right, you can find me. This is Tony, the Tone Face Killer, on Twitch and Twitter. I'm on Twitch all the time.
Killer with an H.
Killer with an H. Say it with the chest. So TONEFACEKILLAH. And we really appreciate you guys all stopping by. Make sure and tell a friend. And Bill's about to say something.
I was just going to say, if you guys are listening to this, it would be fun to have you guys watch us on Twitch, even if it's just once. And even if you're like, this is really stupid. It would be fun for you to like stop in. We do stream quite often. And if
I would be pretty if someone came into my channel and said, "Hey, I saw you, I listened to your podcast, it was terrible," I'd be like, "Oh, you listen to my podcast." I'd be so excited.
So excited.
Yeah.
But if you haven't, like if you're not a Twitch watcher, give it a shot, because I've met some people that you would never think
I love it
that would watch. I mean, like some guys in their 60s and 70s that just watch it all the time.
All right, so if you come to one of our Twitch channels, just come in and start talking about turtles. That way we know that you heard it here.
Turtle.
Be like, "Hey, turtle man," and we'll know like you're on the inside. You're like, we'll be like, "Oh, don't mess with the turtle guy." All right, he's the man around here.
You don't actually have to do that.
It'd be cool though.
It would be kind of funny.
It would be fun. It'd be fun. It'd be fun to know where you came from.
I say just blast in there and say tech, because why keep it a secret? We want everyone else in the Twitch or in the in the chat to know.
Yeah, I just think turtles are cool.
Okay, that's cool.
All right.
You can say hi. You can make turtle comments to Tony.
Or just say you can
plug the shit out of the podcast in mine.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. All right, Bill. Anything else?
Nope. That's it. Love you guys.
We love you guys. Good night.